special guests. With us we have Professor Gabriel Catana, who is Waziri of Education for Kilifi County, and he has brought with us the first elected woman in the MCA, and she's of Wawesa Ward, Rabbi Sub-County, and her name is Carol Elimu, and we're very, very honored. We're very, very pleased to have these guests with us. We also have with us our teacher advisor. His name is Mr. Rasonga from Chumani Secondary, and he has been very good in helping us through these holidays. As you can see around me, we have children who are here today studying. We're still in the middle of April holidays, and they're going to be getting ready to go back to school in a couple of days. Today they have an opportunity to ask some questions, and I'm going to hand over to Max, our moderator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Today we're joined with two special guests and Mr. CS. So we may start. Congratulations, first of all, for the appointment as a Cabinet Secretary for Education. And first, I would like to ask, what has been your highlight in your career since when you were appointed?
Thank you. Viewers, I think going direct to the question, I am the CEC member, meaning County Executive Committee member in charge of education and ICT in the government of Kilifi County. This is a new appointment, and my responsibility is a delegated responsibility where I work on behalf of the governor to see that the quality of education in the county is improved. The key mandates or the pillars under which this department is anchored is mainly to look at the early childhood education, the pre-primary education, and the other pillar is the vocational training, and finally the third pillar is the information communication technology. But that's not the only function the department is also undertaking, because at the same time I'm doubling up as a waziri, and at the same time I'm serving the county as the chair of the Kilifi County Education Board. So I extend also to serve in the mandate as the chair of the the chair of the Kilifi County Education Board, also to see that the quality of education at primary or the basic education at large, that is primary and second school, is also improved. And in that context, the county has introduced a scholarship program. We call it the Kilifi County Ward Scholarship Fund, which is basically established so that it can support bright students who do very well in their national examinations, but may be challenged in terms of the economic capacity to be able to transit to the other levels of education. So the county has so far invested 350 million. So that is one aspect which we have already been addressing as the department, to look at the law so that we can moderate this program of sponsoring candidates or students from Kilifi County who have made it in the exams, for them to be able to move on to the advanced levels. Not only that, in terms of the mandate of the department, say the pre-primary education, we are uplifting our facilities so that we're able to have the enrollment of the early learners, that means the early childhood education kids, increased, so that the child of Kilifi is prepared right from the early years to learn in an environment that prepares them to pursue the primary education, the secondary education at ease. The vocational training is also another pillar that I've mentioned, and we're also projecting that we shall be coming up with something which is an incubation or business incubation center, and hopefully Elimu Center will be a pivot point for us to make these kind of discussions, so that we're able to help those students or the graduates of the vocational training centers that we have in Kilifi County to come up with business plans, write proposals or business plans that can be able to win startup funds so that they can actually prudently do their businesses and seek their space of the job market in Kilifi or even anywhere else in the country or even abroad. For the ICT, we are looking at ways of improving service provision in the county in a way of adapting or embracing ICT in all the service sectors, and more to look at the opportunity for the employability of the youth in order through the use of ICT. So basically, I think those are the key highlights that I would point out at this point as far as my appointment is concerned and the responsibilities that I'm holding as the CC member in charge of education and ICT.
As you have said, the number of students in high schools, it has increased. But then the high schools in the county have recorded a higher enrollment of males than females. Why is this? And are there measures to ease this solution?
Okay, maybe I'll start then, Madam Caro, because you have mentioned what the representation of the lower number represents, Madam Mheshimiwa Caro here. So she'll answer as to what has happened to the girls.
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the national government and especially His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta in introducing the free sanitary towels to all schools. And this, I'm sure, it will be able to curb and it will be able to control some of the low attendance of the girl child in schools. And also, like in Kilifi, the issue of the teenage pregnancy and the lack of sanitary towels has been a major problem. This has been a cause of the poor attendance of the girl child in schools. And as a legislature, I'll make sure I advocate for this so that our girls, we are able to control them, we are able to support them, to give them the motivation and the support to be able to go back to school fully, to be able to have enough of the sanitary towels, and also come up with stringent actions to the persons who impregnate our girls. And also the girls who become pregnant after giving birth, we make sure that they come back to school and continue with their studies. So I'm sure the level of their coming back to school will rise very soon.
Yeah.
What can you tell the young people now?
Okay, what can I tell the young people? Okay, young means they're from 18 downwards.
Are we still on camera?
Okay, so young people, the future belongs to those who plan for it. Okay, the future belongs to those who plan for it. And if you want to make your future, if you want to predict your future, make it now. Meaning, if you want to get an A grade, make it now in this room. So as you are reading, remember the future, you are planning for the future, and the future will belong to those who will be planning for it. And for you to predict it, make it now. So if you are predicting an A, the A should be made now. And that is the message I give you. And one thing, believe in yourself, because all can do it. Because I made it, and you can also do it.